us your name and also where you come from.
Okay, my name is Beatrice Mavuto, and I'm obviously from Malawi. I just want to welcome you all to my humble abode. And I'm the designer for Scorpio Clothing, so yeah.
Interesting. Tell me, when did you get this interest to start designing clothes?
Basically, I've always had an interest for fashion, like from a young age. I remember like when I was like around 8, my mom she would buy me like Barbie dolls, and I would like rip her tights up and like dress the dolls up and like pretend I'm like showcasing them on the fashion show and stuff like that. And then like when I was in high school, when I was about to finish, I started like sketching, just randomly sketching designs and stuff like that. And then I was told that, oh, maybe you want to do this. That's how it all began.
So you're also a good sketcher?
Yeah.
So most of your designs come from you sketch it, then you bring it to life?
Yeah. So yeah, it's all about like researching, get something in my head, put it down on paper, and then take it from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me the story of your first design.
My first design was, I think I was around 15 or 14. I never really showcased it. It was just like through sketch. But my first collection was during college, but I don't have any of the pictures. But yeah, it was like fitted here and then like a bubble dress with a lot of like embellishments, because I used to love doing a lot of textiles and handwork at that time.
Interesting. For someone maybe that's looking at some of your designs or has seen some of your designs and may wonder what inspires someone to come up with such a beautiful dress, beautiful outfit. What inspires most of your designs?
For me, I love looking at architecture.
Okay.
So looking at historical buildings, looking at things that are like broken down, like even like during my whole college years and uni years while I was studying fashion, I was always like into the whole structures. Yeah, so anything to do with architecture, rotten buildings, even like rotten paints, because it used to give me ideas for colors and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So more of aesthetics, all those things.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. People have different types of textiles they work with, they're comfortable with. What sort of textiles do you like to work with?
For me, because of like Malawi is quite limited in terms of like what kind of textiles you could do. So as a designer, you tend to come up with ideas on your own. So for me, what I like to do, I like to contrast different fabrics. So like, let's say like before when I was a student, I used to love working in black, like just all my designs used to be in black, but I used to get like different shades of black. So I would do like shears, I would like knit different textiles as well, like blend it all together. It's all black, but you can see the contrast between light and dark. So like during my past years, that's what I was like.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used to like, and now like being in Malawi, I love using print, but I still like to combine it with like modern fabrics, just to give it a more natural. Yeah.
All right. You keep on mentioning when you're in school. Is this something that you actually went to school for? You studied? What did you exactly study?
So for me, after I finished high school, I went to college, Brantford College, and I did BTech. I started with City and Guilds for 2 years.
Okay.
So that was like basically an introduction to the whole fashion, the basics, basically how to use the machine, how to take measurements. And then after that, I did BTech, National Diploma, for 2 years.
Okay.
And that's like basically preparing you like for the industry, like how things are like properly done in the industry, like, and stuff like that. And then after that, university for 3 years. And that's basically they're like molding you, like trying to find out like who are you as a designer, what do you like, what's your aesthetic, and things like that. So all of that, you're basically finding yourself.
Tell me some of the fashion shows or showcases you have done.
Okay, so my first show was London Fashion Week, Graduate Fashion Week.
Interesting, you went to London Fashion Week.
Yeah, that was in 2015. That was right after like my last year of De Montfort University. So they selected 10 students from each university. So I was one of them. So I got to showcase at such an event where there was actually like real designers who came and stuff like that.
You were also a real
I was still a student, but and then after that, coming to Malawi, I did African Fashion Festival, Zuzu Fashion Week, yeah.
I see you're wearing some of Scopi's designs today.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know that because I've seen some behind me. Tell me some of it. I've seen there's different fabrics here.
Yeah, yeah.
Which ones are you more comfortable with? I'm pretty sure there's one fabric you're so comfortable with working with, like two seconds you're done making an outfit.
For me, okay, I don't like to limit myself in terms of fabrics. Yeah, I like to, because if you limit yourself, then it's going to be hard for you to actually always find that specific thing. As a designer, you need to be able to work with chiffon, because I know a lot of like tailors here, if you give them chiffon fabric or sheer fabric, they'll be like, hey, sorry, you know, I can't, this fabric. But you need to know how to use all types of fabrics. You can't put yourself in a box and limit yourself. If you limit yourself, then you can't develop, huh?
Yeah.
You can't evolve and stuff like that. So for me personally, I don't have any specific fabric. I try to use all sorts of fabrics. So, but for now, as you could see, like I'm more into the whole sheer aesthetic. So sheers, a lot of satin, laces, and obviously the chitenges as well.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Okay. What you're wearing now is a chitenje and chiffon.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what we see the dress in the middle, that looks like sequin. No.
Okay, so the silver dress is actually soft net.
Okay.
But I backed it with there's a certain fabric. It's like kind of like a stiff, but it's not really. It's like a cotton, kind of like stiff. It's black, so it makes it look like once you press it and you do your thing, it makes it look like you've created your own fabric.
Yeah.
But if I was to take away that bottom layer, it's basically just a sheer fabric.
You're lying.
But because I've done everything else to it, it's like I've created my own fabric that no one else could replicate.
Interesting.
Unless if they know the process.
My God, it does look like sequin from here. Okay.
And even if you look at the gold one, you might think, okay, the whole fabric is all together, but it's actually hand stitched in.
You're joking.
Yeah. All of that is all blended. You can't see the division. You can't see, you might think, okay, I think all of it is gold, but no. It's all blended in as part of my love of textile.
All right, we're going to take some time to actually look at the way you have put everything together. We're still trying to get to know who Scopi Beatrice is today. We're very, grateful that you brought us here. This is quite interesting. And for me, I really think that's, oh my God, I need to get that up. You don't seem to have a problem in terms of fabric. You're mixing fabric all together, coming up with something quite interesting. You spoke about teaching people, and you have the opportunity to teach some people within Scopi Designs as well. Tell me, how did this start about? And also, do you have your own shop, or is it a school now? Is it a shop, or what is it? Just describe Scopi Designs.
So for me, in terms of teaching people and why I did it, was because when I first started, the problem I had is like I would have orders or I had something that I need to do, but because of my time, because it was me by myself, so I couldn't match up the times and the orders and my personal stuff. So I was like, okay, let me start employing people, right? And then the problems I found is like let's say certain people are used to certain things. So for you, if you want someone to do what you want to do, sometimes you have to be that guide, give them that guidance, huh? So that's when I discovered that, okay, you can't be mad at the people who are behind you. You just have to embrace them and make them part of whatever you're trying to do for it to develop. So that's when I noticed that, okay, when I do that, things are actually progressing. Then me be like, oh my God, look, things is not straight. So things like that.
All right. There are different designers. Others are sketchers. They make the design and they give it to someone to bring it out, make it alive. What sort of designer are you? Do you sew on your own, or do you give it to someone? You just design, you give it to someone, or you sew on your own?
Okay. So for me, I sketch. My process is research, sketch the ideas, start making the patterns, and sew. So I could do everything myself, but because of time, I have hired other people as well so we could just do things quicker. But what I studied is basically they taught you how to do everything. So from how to gain, how to source ideas, how to sketch, how to create patterns. Because for me, I see a lot of people, they just cut straight fabric. Like for me, I look at them and I'm like, how do you guys do that? Whereas for me, I actually have to go on paper, do the whole patterns and stuff like that, yeah? But then they'll be like, but it's the same thing. You're doing it on pattern. You could just do it straight on the thing. But the way we were taught is like, you know, you sketch, you create your pattern, you cut out in fabric.
Okay.
So that's the process I do. And yeah. And I guess it's good that like I was taught that way, because it means like I've got no fear of you know how some people maybe they won't show up the next day for work. I could just take over and, you know, complete it with no hassles and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. Actually, very interesting. You're the first designer actually I've heard that research.
Yeah.
Then sketches.
Yeah.
What sort of research do you do? Do you do the research with the fabric on how it's gonna look with this different fabric? Do you research in terms of what's trending now? Let me do something that's a bit trendy, or should I design something that's going to trend? What sort of research do you do before you design something?
So for me, when I start creating ideas, what I first do is like, maybe I could be watching something, or maybe I'm listening to a song, or maybe I see something, then I'm like, okay, that interests me, right? Then I would be like, okay, then I start envisioning, okay, like, let's say for upcoming shows, like the current one that I want to take part in, I want to base it on, it's going to be called Futuristic Expedition, yeah? Because the reason why I'm saying that is like, we're at a place where humans we're evolving, right? But we're still, as Africa, we're not evolving as fast as the outside, right?
Yeah.
So futuristic expedition is basically, I'm looking into space, like futuristic, and I've got the like idea in my head that, okay, imagine like if aliens came to Malawi or something, right?
Yeah.
What would people say? Yeah. What would they wear and stuff like that? So like,
how would they be looking
in terms
like?
of like research, okay, what kind of research do I do? So like right now, I'm looking into different parts, planets, yeah, and then looking at like, okay, like let's say Mars, the texture of Mars, like, and then you ask yourself, okay, how can I recreate that in a fabric? Then from that you start dealing with that like in the fabric terms, yeah. Then you'll be like, okay, let me look at shapes, structures, yeah. Maybe like a shape of a glass. You can think of like ways of creating designs from just the silhouette of the glass, yeah? And then you start to, so you do your whole lineup. Maybe you've got like 10 lineup, like, okay, these are my finished work. Then you'll be like, okay, what fabrics or colors best describes what I'm trying to envision? And then once you have that, then that's it, you're set.
Thank you so much. We now want to look at some of the designs that you have. We're going to look at the dresses that she has made, some of the textiles that she has combined together to give in such a different illusion, so to say. And just behind the camera, there are more dresses and more designs that Scopy Designs has. And let's get to see them as well as the model that she has with us. So we're looking at this first dress. You just said that you... What did you do to it?
So basically, a lot of these gold accents were actually hand stitched.
Okay.
And like, as you can see, like
these ones right here.
like here, like blending it in and stuff like that, right? And like at the bottom, so you can't see the division and stuff like that. Because what I try to do, like when I'm using, I don't like seeing lines unless you have to see them, like, but most of the time when I'm trying to do something,
because there's no lines here.
Because I like to trick your mind, so you think like how, like what's happening, like how is this being held up? Yeah, but everything is within, and because of like what I've done after that, you can't really, your head can't process what's happening everywhere else. So these are just like one of the things. And when I was talking about the whole contrast between light and dark.
And dark, This is it. This is a perfect example. Let's talk about this dress. You said you put together two fabrics. Okay, you can come closer. Okay. You put together two fabrics. That's when it gave in this illusion.
As you can see, let's just show a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. As you can see, you've got this backing, This is
cotton, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting. And this one you put on top.
Yeah.
What's inside? Because it feels like it's a hard.
So it's a mixture of stiff, that cotton I was telling you about. Yeah. And then this on top. Because if you can see, like if you feel it, right? You can see the difference, Okay. But even then, even here, it's got it inside as well. But it's just I didn't back it as much as this. And then here again, it's the mixture of sheer sparkle fabric, and then the inside thing, and then again for some drama. Gotta have a
The
hat.
hat. Let's
Yes.
talk about this hat. This is a quite interesting hat.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, don't
Okay.
worry.
This is a very interesting hat. Guys, do you see this? This is just a platform here, and at the back, it's just like that.
Yeah.
So this is like a headband.
Yeah, yeah.
So you put it on your head, and I think with the sun, this would be a perfect.
Yeah, yeah. And then you just shimmer. And then again, all eyes on you.
What do you call this sort of hat?
Flat hat?
Flat hat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just something
Then
that-
this gives that dramatic
Yeah,
finish
yeah, yeah.
to the dress.
And then you could see when I was telling you that, like, I love architecture. So you can see the whole architectural things with
Yeah.
that. Or even
Because-
with this.
You know what's so interesting is the dress is giving that,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what you call that, but okay, this is really nice. All right, so here we are. We have more displays of some of Scopy Design's outfits. I should say I'm quite happy to see the African print because you're not African if you don't design an African print, right? All right, tell me a bit more about the dress that's at the far left of mine. There it is. What sort of texture is that?
So for this, this is basically tucks.
Okay.
In terms, if you have to word it, yeah, these are tucked, right? So it's not really a texture; it's just a technique.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be applied on any type of fabrics. But when you're trying to create something like this, it's always better to use a draped fabric, like let's say a silk or like a stretch jersey, because like when you tuck, you're basically manipulating the fabric to create certain shapes that you want to do. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what shape were you going for this dress?
So for this, I started out with this on the center thing, on the chest. This was like freestyle again. So this was like can't really see, but yeah. So this was like more couture, like freehand, like right on the mannequin, just pinning and trying to create a structure that like I envision in my head.
Okay.
And then I wanted something to tie it all together. So like you had focus here, but you can't really just do this and have nothing here. So yeah, I just played around with the fabric, and then I just liked the shape that came out after that. And yeah, took it from
This
there.
gives that high-low type of that. Oh, okay. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is this fabric. What sort of fabric is this?
So this is a silk.
Hard silk.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a bit more about this dress. We're coming to this dress. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
This is nice, yeah.
So for this, it was like a clash between, you could say quite futuristic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
You look
going
at it, yeah. Because like it's like a fishtail, right? So like it's like fitted on the hips,
Yeah.
and then on the knee as well, yeah. And then you've got these structures that comes out. You've got this structure that comes out.
This is
so-
quite similar to this.
Yeah. It looks very nice, like once a person is wearing it, because all these things stand up, and yeah, you just look like as if someone did a painting on you.
Oh,
and then
okay.
Just, yeah.
Because now once this part is fitted and
Yeah.
the fish
Yeah,
tail
fish tail.
side is flowy.
quite full as well.
So all you see is these.
Yeah, these standing up.
Okay.
And again, it creates an illusion as well, because you're like it's a clash between three dresses into one.
3 dresses.
Yeah.
Where are the 3 dresses here?
Because you could be like, this is a design on its own, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A design on its own. You could actually break this up in 3 styles and create new sketches. from
No.
just looking at this.
This really doesn't seem much so complicated, I should say. And
So for this one, again with my whole, I don't know how you're gonna see it, but
yeah.
once you have it on, right? Again, you have these structures that stand on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like this stands on its own. These all bubble up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's got the low and high, long at the back. Again, if you want to be different, who want to make people
Stand out there.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
also another design that you have. I think this is the second shortest,
Yeah.
maybe short dress that I've seen, because I see that you like to just gownish looking
Yeah,
like
yeah,
outfits.
yeah.
This is one of the dresses that is speaking a lot in the front. I see that you like to play around with that motion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then again, once you wear it, these whole things stand up and they just follow the body.
Do they stand up like that?
Yeah. I can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then mixing different fabrics again. You've got lace, you've got chitenge, you've got cotton drill underneath. So we've got, for here, we're working with 3 different fabrics of different weights. Again, as a designer, you need to know how to mix lightweight fabrics with heavyweight fabrics. Sometimes fabrics stretch, so yeah, you need to understand those things as well.
Okay. Maybe some people might be interested to find out how some of these designs or some of the designs that she has on how they look like on a person, an actual person, not a mannequin or not on a hanger. We have a model with us. Christina, please come. Fabulous. Looks like a uniform because she's wearing the same pattern that you're wearing, the same print, which is really nice. And I see you're holding a handbag. That suits very well. These are part of the accessories that you have. So you also make handbags. What else?
So I do handbags, backpacks, hats. I've dived for 2021. I wanted to introduce more of an accessories line. There's more to come from Scorpy Clothing, but these are just like one of the ones that are currently here. The other ones are out. but these are one of them. And
this bag actually looks like you can find it in a shop. This looks really, really nice. Tell me more about the design that she's wearing now.
As you can see, for some reason, I don't know why, but for 2021, I'm in love with the whole, the opening of the chest. And the opening of the back, So I think a lot of my designs that are upcoming, you could say this looks a little bit Victorian with the whole sleeves. Because you know how the Victorian era, you have the whole sleeve.
Kind of similar to mine.
And then you're playing with the whole thing of as women, a lot of people don't like to show, that area of you. So we're playing with that as well. And exposing, trying to see how in Malawi you're more free.
Exactly. So how can one contact you in case they want Scorpy designs, or where can they find you?
So if you want anything to do with Scorpy, you could either follow my page on Instagram at Scorpy Clothing Scorpy _clothing. Again, the same name on Facebook, and you could contact me directly. I'm bad with recognizing my number, memorizing my number. But if you go to the Instagram page, you could find the number on there, and that's my direct number, which you basically talk to me. So and that's it.
I think before we started everything else, I rushed into just because I was so excited about talking about the dresses and just trying to find out who you are. Where did the name Scorpy come from?
When I came up with the name, I wanted a name that sounded unique. I wanted a name that you could, it sounded urban, but yet you could still take it to another level. So coming up with a name like my friends, their names of the brands were their own personal names, and I was like, Beatrice, that's such a boring name. So I was started looking. Then I found out the word scorpion. Then I was like, Scorpion. And the reason why I chose that, if you think of the scorpion, it's like a tiny thing, tiny but poisonous. So what I was trying to say is this scorpion name can adapt to anything. It might seem small, but it's growing. It might seem timid, but it's progressing. So when I came off the name, when I came off the name Scorpy, I was like, okay, Scorpy, where can I take the name? And that's how I set it on the whole Scorpy Clothing. Scorpy.
Beautiful. We love what we see. This little scorpion is really biting us.
Thank you so much.
Everywhere and anywhere. Maybe what is your last message to anyone that's watching, and also maybe someone that's has been inspired today by seeing the work that you're doing, and they also want to start something quite similar or quite different, but also in the same industry? What would you tell them?
For anyone who's watching the show and who feels inspired and maybe might have a few questions of how they could get their own things starting as well, I encourage you just to work hard, believe in yourself, focus, and just in terms of creating your items, just think about when you make something, can you find this thing in a shop? Yeah. So what I mean by that is like, let's say a little bag, you want to make a bag. Like go to a shop and buy a bag and look at how a bag is made. Look at the details. Let's say you want to make a dress. Go to a shop and see how is a bag finished. You know, how do they? I mean, a dress. How is the dress finished? How do they hem? You know, so the structural part of a garment, not just. You could sketch pretty things and combine pretty fabrics and stuff like that. But the construction of the item is what makes your things, you know, stand out. Yeah. Because you could be creative, but when people look at your things, so that's what I always say. Work hard, believe in yourself, and just keep pushing.
Thank you so much for opening your home and inviting us here to finally have a look at Scopy Designs, and we're seeing that you're doing an amazing work here, amazing job. We're yet to see some of the accessories that you have. We might spare some little time just to visit your shop where you managed to do some of the accessories that you have. We have at least had a glimpse of one of the accessories, the mini handbag that we saw with Christina, our model today, which is quite interesting, I should say, and continue with the hard work. Good job, well done. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you for coming, and thank you for supporting the brand so far.
Amazing. All right, my fashionistas, this has been Top Designs with Scopy Designs. Beatrice, it's been very lovely today, and we have learned a few things. Not only does she sketches and designs, but she also research, which is quite something that's different, because a lot of people just sit down, they just think of something and they just write it down, but she has to go back, try to check what history has to say about a different outfit altogether. My name is Priscilla Kyra. Until next time, my fashionista, always keep it fabulous. Goodbye.
Scientists have found that due to climate change and poor fertilizer use, Malawi soils are reaching critically low levels of the nutrients and minerals they need to sustain healthy crops. Maize yields are down nearly 60% in the last 15 years, hurting farmers and residents everywhere. If we do not act now, more people will go hungry across the nation.